Hello, Scorpios, and welcome to Deku Tarot. My name is Helen. If you have noticed, unlike all the other signs, I have already have the cards out, and that's because I shot your video, and for some reason, it is just not working. None of it is there. It's saying that it's there, but it's not at all. So here we go again. Thankfully, I have all the same cards. I didn't want to like mess that up, you know. I didn't want to have to change those out because I thought, you know, these are very important. They did resonate really well. The reading was really good. So I'm kind of frustrated that it didn't really come through. But anyways, at least we can jump right into it. And again, guys, if this does not resonate with you, you know, move on. Don't get mad. Don't get bitter. Sometimes these messages are not meant for every single Scorpio. It's just impossible to be able to pick up on every single one. Ooh, excuse me. Wow. But yes, let's see what we got here. The Queen of Swords and the Eight of Coins. So I'm going to read the descriptions out, and then I'm going to shuffle up my Rider-Waite and pull some clarifiers on it. Sorry about that. I just feel like I'm going to sneeze again. That was weird. Queen of Swords. Where is she at? Here it is. All right. A female war calls out a shuddering cry for her pack. Where are they? Are they slain? After the battle of the five armies, we see now the grief and mourning of one of the female leaders of a war pack. The full impact of loss in battle makes itself felt as she knows that she is alone now. It is as if her offspring had never been. This is a very direct card. She's very direct to the point, frank. Very much being upfront, very unpretentious. This is a person who's very intelligent, who's very holds a lot of power, is not afraid to exercise it. Somebody who takes their emotions out of their decisions and is very practical, very level-headed, almost cold in their decision making. You know, the Queen of Swords can be an air sign in your life. If it is an air sign, then this person is in your life. Or sorry, that's like so obvious, but if not, it's an energy of being very level-headed, making decisions without, you know, having a lot of emotion involved in them, being very upfront, being very stable, very level-headed about the decisions that you are making. All right, so let's move on to the Eight of Coins. Let's see, Eight of Coins. Okay, the company now crosses the dark river, stepping carefully across the stepping stones to avoid touching the water. As they move across the water, they step from one reality to another. We are reminded of the significance of water in scripture and legends, the crossing of the Red Sea, immersion in water, baptism, and initiation. But here the water is dark, and we are warned not to drink from it. At a later stage, the dwarves cross the river using a boat, and Bomber falls in. When they laid him on the bank, he was already fast asleep, and he stayed that way in spite of their attempts to wake him. 2 nights later, he woke up having dreamed of the elves. So this is very much about diligence and proficiency, keeping on the track you are on, keeping working, not really stopping. You may want to stop and take a break, but you know what? It's time to keep on trucking. That's what this is telling me. This is a time where you must keep on working at something, or you know, there is. If this is a relationship, it is saying that, you know, you have been maybe a little bit cold and distant, a little bit too level-headed, a little bit too no emotion about something. It could be plateauing. You could be plateauing your relationship because you are only seeing it from like a money perspective. It's what I'm getting from a financial perspective. If maybe you guys are living together and you're worried about money, you could be letting a relationship plateau just because there is no excitement and passion anymore because you guys are working so hard and you're only focused on the work. Or maybe instead of, you know, taking a break to relax with them, you are or, you know, like adding a little bit of spice into it and, you know, taking out that emotionlessness. You need to add a little bit of water in here. You need to yes, work on it, but don't let it plateau. And by that, like in that way, you know, don't release the reins, don't let it like plateau, whatever. This is saying to keep on working at a relationship, at a job, or whatever it is. You must always continuously put in effort. You cannot just like let it sit there. Okay, so let's see what these are clarified by. I'm wondering if they'll come out the same. It's in the first reading. Queen of Swords and the Eight of Coins. Okay, let me shuffle. Alrighty, and we get the Ace of Swords. So here we are, the Ace of Swords. The Eight of Coins. Wow, thank you. Thank you. New energy towards work, new decision, new powerful victory in work is what I'm getting here. Maybe this person, maybe this Queen of Swords type person. They don't have to be a female, but it could be you got a decision made in your favor. And it's giving you a lot more work here. Yeah, this is something you've manifested here. You must continue to work, continue to manifest. Continue to use all of your efforts here. It seems like you're working towards something. You have victory in a work situation, something that you work towards, you put a lot of effort into, and you're receiving some sort of rewards for it. You're receiving more work, or you're being recognized, for your work here. This is not the time to give up. It's the time to find new ways here to even make it more profitable. And you guys are at this great position, it seems like, where you are being really creative and you're able to use different aspects of, your skills and personality to make this happen. Either that, or maybe there's a magician in your life, somebody who who's seeing you work really, really hard and a kind of plateau, and like you have this wonderful victory, and they're like, you could maximize this if you did this. You're finding new ways to maximize this, and it could be with the help of somebody else. It could be the help of with this Queen of Swords person, somebody who knows business, who knows how to balance finances, who knows how to make things happen, somebody who is very level-headed and unemotional about it. Whereas, as a water sign, you're going to be a little bit more emotional about this work, and you're given this victory here, you're given this clarity, this victory of this work situation, and suddenly you know how to make it happen. Okay, is what I'm getting here. You know that you can use all these different aspects of yourself in your life to make this happen and to keep going. Okay, beautiful. So let's move on to the Two of Wands reversed. All right, wands, wands, wands. All right, Bilbo and Gandalf hide from the wargs up in the trees and away from them. They realize that this is just a temporary advantage. Here, let me see if I can, make that better. But at least it gives them time to think up something else. As the wolves gathered around the trees, they spoke in a language that only Gandalf could understand. He discerned that a great raid was being planned against the bold men of the south who had been making inroads and settlements into the forest. The reason prompting all this was the imminent slaying of the great goblin. The wargs were angry and puzzled at finding Gandalf here in this place. So yeah, this is good advice given and received, having the world in your hands, It's very much about, having that kind of thing, like being able to see, proving yourself to others, and like being able to see like where you want to go in the future. You have a lot to contribute, and your influence is being felt. But also, when it is reversed, it is hinting that maybe you're being overly confident. You're not really listening to the advice of others. You're just being a little bit too self-important. You should be aware of that. You should really start listening to others. If other people, especially if you have somebody who's like, you can maximize this, and you're not really listening, listen. Open your ears to that, because you could be maximizing an opportunity in your life, and somebody could be trying to help you make the absolute best of it, of all your talents, of all your abilities, and you need to be listening to others now. And also, it could seem that some people in your life, it may be that like you are communicating with them in a less emotional way, and you're being very hard on them. You're being very unemotional, very difficult with them, expecting a lot, expecting them to suddenly have all this. It kind of that's a different story that I'm getting here for some of you Scorpios. Someone else needs to hear that out there. You're being really unemotional, a little bit too much. You've taken the emotion out of one situation in your life totally, and you're expecting just work on it, and you're expecting this other person to just suddenly be at this point, or just work towards a situation that is just not possible, and you're not listening to what they're telling you about it. It's like you have these unrealistic expectations here is what I'm getting. You have these unrealistic expectations of somebody, of somebody's abilities, of somebody's life right now, of somebody that you love. And it's kind of like making your relationship plateau and not really work out, because you're not really seeing them for what they are and what they have accomplished and what they're doing in your life. You're not really appreciating them is what I'm getting. It's like you need to appreciate somebody in your life that maybe you haven't fully appreciated in the best way, or that maybe you have had some issues with, or you expected one way, or you've only been seeing it one way, and you need to flip this and look at it from their perspective, and look at it from what they're doing and what they've accomplished, and put the emotion back in here. You need to reintroduce emotion. You need to reintroduce some sort of balance, because you're expecting way too much, and you're being way too hard on them with the work and this kind of decision making here, and you need to be kinder. You need to listen to them. They're trying to communicate something to you, and you will not listen. Okay, so the Tower. Okay, let's read on the Tower. This is maybe my favorite Tower card I have ever seen. I am in love with it. All right, the Tower. Okay, I'm going to get this all ready to flip, because I always have a hard time flipping this one page. Okay. Okay, the dragon Smog in great wrath emerges from his lair, spewing fire to wreak revenge. Smog was very familiar with every piece of treasure in his hoard and was quick to notice the disappearance of a cup at the hands of Bilbo Baggins. Smog was the last of the dragons and became prominent by destroying the town of Dale and capturing the Lonely Mountain with all its treasure inside. Smog's hide became encrusted with gold and gems through the 150 years of sleeping on the treasure hoard, thus forming an impenetrable barrier. Bard the bowman heard about Smog's one weak spot over his heart from a thrush, which in turn had overheard Bilbo's account of his encounter with the dragon inside his lair. Thus, when Smog attacked Lake Town, Bard saw his chance, and firing his last arrow killed the dragon. After Smog's death, Thorin and his companions claimed the treasure hoard, thus creating conflict with Bard and the Elven King. Both wanted a portion in compensation for the damage done by the dragon to their respective domains over the years. So yeah, this is very much about wanting to build on solid foundations, but also about removing a huge foundation in your life. This is the crashing down of one foundation. Something must end here. There is an end to something. There is a huge, huge end, or something huge that happens. You know, this is a very sudden, very like suddenly realizing something sudden. Removal of like a huge tower in your life, a huge foundation in your life, huge upheaval, maybe even some sudden trauma. However, this is also the card of Scorpio. This is the tower is Scorpio. What lucky guys you are to have the tower be your card. I mean, it's the card of great transformation, of huge change, of massive shifts in your life. This card tells us that it's better to accept these changes rather than resist them. Acceptance is a better response than opposition in this case, okay? So let's pull some clarifiers, and I'm just going to pause while I do a nice big shuffle. All right, what is Two Wands reversed in the Tower saying for Scorpios the end of August 2018? What events do they foretell? All right, we get the Moon. The Wheel of Fortune. Two very big cyclical cards here, you know. Oop, let me get that so it's not so blurry. And Justice. Do I want to pull one more out? I don't know, actually. I don't think so. That's good. Wow. Major Arcana clarified by more Major Arcana. Yay. By 3, you know what? I'm going to pull a clarifier because this is ridiculous. But yeah, you know, the Moon is very much about things that you fear, confusion, straight anxieties. It's the feeling of anxiety. It's a feeling of unknown. Like you have no idea what's going on. It's very confusing. I mean, they've got the lobster who wants to crawl out of the water and walk away, the dog and the coyote, which are enemies, and they are both howling up at this moon. It's a very strange card here. They got the two towers in the background here. Two towers, kind of like very much The Hobbit, very much Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien. It is definitely a lot of confusion here. There's a feeling of, you know, it's kind of like a heavy, confusing, stressful feeling of not really knowing where you're going, not really knowing what the heck is going on here, not really knowing your position, your situation, how you feel about a situation, or, you know, really what to do. You feel confused by it. There's an anxiety here. And yet the universe is here to turn the wheel in your favor. Maybe the wheel has not been in your favor for the past, God knows how long, Scorpio, maybe years or so, maybe years for some of you. And we get the Wheel of Fortune and Justice. So you're getting justice here. The divine intervention comes in, and it's like, this is the time. I think as we go into September, you guys are going to see some justice. You're going to see some reparations in your life. You're going to see equal pay for what you have given throughout these years. You know, you're going to finally start receiving gifts from the universe that equal out the balance here, the karmic balance. Your karma will be it's going to be okay, and you know it's going to good karma is coming back to you for all the karma that has been spilled for you. Does that even make sense? I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It feels like you guys have had a lot taken from you, and the universe is here to bring it back to you. It's here to give it back to you. Here to really make you the most You know, maybe if you haven't been feeling like yourself, totally, the universe is here coming back to you to be like, remember who you are. Here are some gifts, like remember, so that you can remember what it is to feel like truly yourself, to feel really Scorpio, to feel like in touch with who you are as a person in this world. Maybe if you felt out of touch and you felt confused about why things haven't been working out, and why things have been plateauing and not really happening. And there's been a lot of confusion, a lot of weird stress around it from the universe. But I do think that after we get that full moon in Pisces, I believe it's the 27th or 26th, we are going to get a lot of gifts from the universe suddenly. A lot of things are going to start working out, and we're going to be getting that karmic justice back, you know. Card of Libra, maybe even in the time of Libra, okay? So let's see. I'm going to actually pull a couple clarifiers on that because that is 3 major arcana, and it's all having to do, you know, with that Tower feeling. So please clarify these, okay? Clarify the messages of the Moon, Wheel of Fortune, and Justice as pertaining to the Two of Wands and the Tower for the end of August 2018 for Scorpio. What is it telling them? What do they need to know about these cards here? What do they need to know about this energy, this Moon and Wheel of Fortune and Justice energy? Please, ooh, what is this? Okay, flying out on the bottom there, but face down, so. Anxiety, stress, fears, turning in on yourself when things don't work out and like you start to like think too much and you know you're waiting so long for things to happen that you start to think negatively, and that's that feeling of the Moon. It's anxiety. It's stress and anxiety. But you know what? Oh my gosh, look at what these hold. The Wheel of Fortune Justice holds emotional happiness. Like you will be so emotionally fulfilled here. This is amazing. This is with family and friends, and you know what? This is what's coming in September, okay? You're going to be able to have so much emotional fulfillment, so much happiness and gifts. Like I feel that these are money gifts too. Let me pull something on that. But that is really, really wonderful. That is the rainbow at the end there. Like, it's like absolutely, it just feels like relief. Like this is there and then suddenly it's relief. King of Cups, yes. This is you guys becoming your true selves again. You finally get to feel like yourself again. You're finally coming into yourselves again. Scorpio, King of Cups. There might be another water sign in your life that you're having an emotional fulfillment with, but also I really do feel like this is you guys really getting in touch with almost like the masculine side of Scorpio. You're in control, you're in power, you're emotionally stable, you're a really secure person, and you're loving, you're caring. You are at your absolute best at the very end of the month here going into September, and I do feel that it has a lot to do with that Pisces moon, the Pisces full moon, you know? I do think so. So I hope that was helpful, Scorpio. I'm going to pull one Gypsy Witch card for you guys for a message from Spirit. And again, if you want to enter for a free 10-minute reading, do so before. It's only going on from August 28th to 25th, so you cannot enter after the 25th. So what you need to do is like, comment, share, and then subscribe. And then email me, and you'll be entered to win a 10-minute free reading. I'll be choosing 10 people for those. And I will be choosing that after the 25th of August. Okay, so let's see what we got for new messages from Spirit that Scorpio needs to know at the end of August here. Ooh, the anchor denotes successful ventures in business and love. And surrounded by 11... Wait, that's just a bunch of... That's part of the other game that it is. Near the dog. Fidelity of the one you love. So, breach of... It's like, I don't know. This is really nice. This is very much about... successful ventures in business and love. However, do watch out for a breach of fidelity if that is what you think is going on. Some of you guys might be having a third-party situation. I mean, again, I don't want to just like throw that in there at the end. But I mean, if some of you are, you know, message me or another reader maybe for a private reading if you are feeling confused and stressed about that and you think that might be the issue. Towers can sometimes be breakups, but I don't know. I didn't really get that feeling from your reading. So I do feel that we are coming into a lot of successful ventures in business like that are very sudden, that may absolutely rock you to your foundation, and you might have to build a whole new foundation because of new business coming in, new jobs, new money, feeling really comfortable in yourself, you know, or love. A love situation might take an absolutely, it might absolutely be really transformed at this time. I'm not saying I think it's going to end, but it could be absolutely transformed, or it might end. But Scorpio, you got a lot going on here. Big energy, big Scorpio energy at the end of the month here. So good luck, and I hope to see you guys in September. Check out your videos for your sun, moon, and rising, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you.